All right, let's talk about links or anchor tags. Now, of course, links are your bread and butter of your website. Now, the first website that was ever made was basically based off links. So it's basically a book with links, and links are basically like this. When you hover over, you'll see a line. Most of them are blue, but you can change that color, and I'll talk about that when we talk about CSS and styling. But it's simply that, a link that links to my about page, or a link that links to my contact page, and a link that links to my home page. And now we got a menu right here with some more links. And now I have a box with my story, and I want to link that story to my blog page, and therefore you can see what I have written. And the same thing goes for your social links. Now these are inert, which means they're not going to go anywhere, but this is what we're going to discuss. So if you have a Facebook page, you can be able to have people click this link and go to your Facebook page. And now there's a way to add like a like button, which I will talk about when I start talking about Instagram and how to add in widgets like that. But let's stick to links. All right, so let's jump into your code. Now, so let's start with the Facebook link right at the top as we started with, because it's much easier and it should make more sense when I talk about it like this. All right, so this is your link. Well, actually, this bottom A2. So anything in between this A tag is going to be a link. So my Facebook image is a link. So when you hover over it, you can see how the cursor changes. That's how you know it's a link. Now let's say if I deleted this and put something right there, let's see what will happen. Nothing has changed, but if I hover over the Facebook, you see that it's nothing. It's just the image without a link. My Google only works Twitter and Instagram, but not my Facebook. So let's just put click me. Let's see what happens. Save it. F5 to refresh, or you can push this button right here. Alright, so I got my click me now. As you can see, anything in between this A tag right here, or anchor tag, will be a link. So I'm going to go back and put everything back to normal. Save that. Alright, so here we are, back to normal. Cool. Now, say you have a Facebook page and you want them to click the link and go to your Facebook page. It is as simple as logging into your Facebook account and basically copying the address that will appear right here. So I'm gonna just go to YouTube real fast. Oops, let me spell it right. YouTube. Now simply the same thing, because I really don't want to go to my Facebook page. So you simply copy that, go to your link, paste that right there, save it, go back, hit refresh, and now I will go to YouTube. Pretty cool, right? So keep that in mind. You can send anybody anywhere. So like I said, just go to your Facebook, log in, and when you're on your page, not anybody else's, not your friend's page or anything like that, go to your profile page, and at the top they will have an address like this, but not like this, but you know, in this bar there will be an address. You just simply copy it, paste it in between the quotes right here, and then save it, refresh your page, and people can click and go to your Facebook. And from that on, say we have it on YouTube. I'm going to go ahead and use this example again. Say they click here, but it still renders in the same page, but you want it to open up a new browser. So I'm going to show you how to do that real fast. So you can just go ahead and type this in. So you want to put target equals, and in quotes, you want to put a underscore, which is shift and the line next to your 0 up top, and then put blank. Now we'll go ahead and save that. Now this is going to open a new browser, which is better, so they'll still have your website open, but have, you know, your Facebook or whatever page you want to send them to right there. So that's a cool way of doing it, so they don't, you know, they can always still have your website open. Now if you don't want it that way, you don't have to, but I think it's pretty cool to keep it that way. So you can go ahead and just copy and paste it to all your tags right here. That'll be cool. But I'm gonna go ahead and delete that. So now that we discussed these anchor tags, just keep in mind wherever you want to send them, just copy and paste the address right here. Alright, so same thing goes if you have a Google Plus account, or if you have a Twitter account, or an Instagram account. It's all working in the same fashion. Now we scroll down a little bit, we can talk about the menu, which is going to be the same thing, just with words. So right here I have my index, which is my home page. All right here, got my home, my about, and contact. And my about right here, and my contact right here. Now for a quick demonstration, say you have a folder, which I'm going to just create one right now. Let me just call it folder. So I'm going to just put folder. Say you have this folder right here. And now in that folder, you have your about page. All right. And your contact. Go ahead and close that. Go right here. I'm going to hit refresh. See what happens. So my about, your file was not found. Same thing with the contact. Your file was not found. So that works as the images. So since I have it in another folder called folder, now this should work. And if it doesn't, my bad. But that's how it works out. So since in the beginning, I didn't have it in a folder and it was on my main, you know, in my main file, let's say, or on my main screen, I didn't need the folder. But since I have it in a folder, just like your images, it's saying in this folder, there's an about page, which I want you to contact. So let's refresh, see if this works. All right, it does, but something's wrong with the CSS, which is the styling. So it does work, but what's wrong with that is I'm in a different folder now, and my CSS is in a different folder. So let's try this out. Oh, no, that's one. I have to go to my contacts. So basically, this is your link to your style sheet, which I'll talk about later on. But that's what's wrong with it. I have to go into my about page and literally just add a slash right here, and then everything will look back to normal. So just keep that in mind if you start to move stuff around and you want to add things in different folders, and especially your articles when you start writing your blog more, you're going to want to keep a folder to store them all in. But if you don't want to do that, you can just have them all in the same spot. So I'm going to go right here, drag these out. Now I can just go ahead and delete that folder. So same thing goes when you upload it to your web hosting. You can have all your files all right here. You don't need to have to worry about any other folder. But in kind of the real way, when you start to write it, it might look a little crazy where you have too many files on just this page and you want to make a folder for it, or even use folders to separate it. So if you have one page talking about sports, or you have a folder just simply about sports, then you want all your blog about sports in that folder. And then if you talk about, you know, health or anything else, you have a separate folder for that. But like I said, we'll talk about more CSS and how that happened again. So I will go back to that and use that technique again when we start talking about CSS. So for the most part, at the beginning stages, you can keep all your files right here. So therefore, all the links work in that same fashion. So you don't have to worry about putting folder slash, you know, your about. So let's go back again. All right, so everything's back to normal. Cool. All right, so let's talk about a little bit more links. We'll talk about these categories, and you can change these up or delete them if you want. But the same thing goes. once you have your category, see right here, since category 1 is sports, you have a folder, you know, and in that folder have sports.html or whatever your file is. But more or less, this should be a folder that leads to like another home page in that sense. So this category is sports, and instead of just having one page talking about sports, or having one page and having this page go on forever and ever with so many different sports stories, you're gonna have multiple pages in this sports category. So that's when you'll use something like the home. So you have, you know, your first story, second story, third story, and so on and so forth. And this is in a folder. But we'll talk about that in the workflow video also. So, and we're still talking about links, same thing, href or hyperreference if you want to call it that, and anything in between this a tag is what it is. So say I'm writing a story and I want to link it somewhere. So I heard of a story and I want to mention this story in my article. So I just go right here and just, you know, click me for the others story. So I can do that. Click A, save it. And as you can see, a little bit light. Try to zoom in. Can I zoom in? All right, here. Click me for the other story. So you can do that. And let's talk about this little space right there that's not there. So right here, I'll have to see if that works. Add a space. Now we got our space. Even though that wasn't part of the link, but you know, it'll look weird. But that's how you'll add links into your paragraph if you want to add it. So if you see it, find a story on CNN that kind of reference what you're talking about, or you know, vice versa, you want to mention it, that's all you got to do is simply find your words you want to use. So if it was a CNN story, you can just put CNN news or whatever, and then wrap it with the anchor tags. So you can do that for any other words. You can do that for the whole paragraph. It's up to you. But just keep that in mind that you can use those anchor tags virtually anywhere. As you've seen on the images, we can use it on images. I can put one around this image, anything. Even these article ads right here, which we are when we start getting more into it. So I could add links around that just for fun. So let's do that, because eventually we're going to need some links right there. And the article goes here, and then it's going to link to another page just like this. Same thing goes your image, whatever image you want to use. And now around this, we'll go ahead and not fill it in, but I'm going to just add the anchor tags. Save it and see what happens, see how that looks. Alright, so there you go. You hover over it and voila. Now you can put one around the image tag also. And usually for good measures, people usually do that. So it's not just the text, you know. It can also hover over the image and you still be able to click. So it's like in this whole block. And let's actually try that out. So I'm going to go ahead and erase these. And now, since I have my article right here, and our article image and my article title right here, I'm going to go right here, right above this div class, and wrap this whole thing and see how this works. So I got my A up there, and I want the image in there, and I want this article. Alright, so that's cool. Now we just jump right here, right below this place. And now this div article module is this container. So just kind of keep that in mind, that when you are messing around with this stuff. Alright, so it works out the same. Usually, yeah, it'll be like a more squarish since I wrapped the whole thing. So let's try it down here, see if there's any difference. No, same thing. So that's how it goes when you want to add your A tags.